Hey everybody, this is Calvin, Professor C here. So today, as you can see, we have changed some of the format, and right beside me, this is what I call Mortgage 007 because he looks like James Bond all the time. He is super handsome. The only thing is he's always hiding the girls from me, so I always see him just like that. So, Omair, why don't you introduce yourself?
Thank you so much, Calvin. My name is Omair. I am also a mortgage broker with the Six Mortgage Group, broker owner of Six Mortgage Group. Calvin, thank you so much for having me on with you on your show. I absolutely love it. You know, all the new agents that are inspiring to become a mortgage broker. Or they would like to join us. My first thing is, hey, you know, Professor C, read his book. His book is fantastic. And this is for everybody out there. If you're thinking about becoming a mortgage broker, or you've recently acquired your mortgage broker license, before anything else, get Calvin's book, number one. And then number two, start watching his videos. There is an inherent lack of excellent training in this business that's provided. And that gap is being filled by people like yourself, Calvin. So you're doing a wonderful job. And the fact that the amount of time because I've read this book, and the amount of time that you must have spent writing it while doing, you know, your business, and you're a top producer, and you have been for a very long time. So I don't understand how you were able to accomplish that. But the fact that you put it out there for the industry, that's phenomenal. So that's great stuff, man.
Thank you. And today, we are going to talk about, because lately there are a lot of people who are asking me about, hey, I am actually a bank mortgage specialist, but you know, I have a lot of colleagues that just moved to become a mortgage broker, a mortgage agent, and all that. And so, like, they're asking me, oh, can you tell me a little bit about like the transition from bankers to brokers? What do I have to look out for? How should I prepare myself from being a banker to a broker? What's the pros and cons of, you know, mortgage agent versus the bank's mortgage specialist? So I know that, you know, I don't want to talk about it myself because we have a lot of bankers to brokers example. And so I reached out to 007 and asked him, hey, do you want me to do you want to do a show together? And I want to pick his brain because he definitely have higher IQ than I have. So yeah.
No, not at all. No.
Why don't you tell us something that about from bankers to brokers, or how should you prepare yourself? Say that you are a mortgage specialist right now in the bank. How should you prepare yourself to become a mortgage agent? Hey everyone, Professor C here. Sorry for interrupting the video for you because this is Chinese New Year. I'm very excited to launch a new product for you. A lot of you follow my channel knows that I have a live workshop. That is a 2 days workshop that I do twice a month. And every single day for doing that 2 days workshop is like a 5 hours day. So combined is like 10 hours, and we usually run a little bit overtime. So it's more like a 12 hours, 2 days things for the live workshop. So which I teach you from like how to get your first client, what do you do when the client call you, what kind of question you need to ask them, what kind of document you need, how to analyze a credit bureau, and all that. So from the moment that client call you, all the way to funding, I teach you every single thing, hands-on. I basically hold your hand, tell you exactly what I do day in, day out. And a lot of students that has went through it have a lot of positive feedback. And you can go to my website and take a look at some of the testimonial. But one of the things, the feedback that I have is, hey, Calvin, I have heard a lot about, good review about your live workshop. It's excellent, but honestly speaking, I cannot find 2 days doing nothing but just to attend your workshop. There's, family obligation. There's, I am still working my full-time job, this and that. So what I have done to solve that problem, which I have been working on for almost a whole year, like since the pandemic, is to develop a digital course that you can learn at your own pace. And I'm very happy to tell you that it has been done. I am going to launch it right now. Okay, and to celebrate that, I am going to actually give away 2 courses for free. So for you to participate, just comment on the YouTube video. Just comment, I am in. And I will randomly choose 2 people who have commented on it to receive this digital course for free. The digital course would take you, is basically I turn my live workshop into a learn as you go, like at your own pace course, right? Obviously, you lack the interaction between me and you, but still, it should guide you to help you do your daily job perfectly. Okay, so I'm very happy to do that. I will announce the winner a week from now. If you do not want to wait to see whether you win the course, I will have the link to sign up for the course in my video description. Okay, so I hope that would benefit a lot of you. This would be my main focus for 2021. I will still run my live workshop, and I'm telling you, the live workshop, the price of it would also go up accordingly, but I will still keep the old price for now. But if you want the interactive learning experience by as soon as you hit a problem, you can ask me does it mean, how does it work, and all that. By all means, sign up for the live workshop right away, because the price is going to go up. If you say that, yeah, I love that idea, but I can't commit 2 full days for your live workshop, you know what, you can go ahead and sign up for the digital course. Okay, so good luck, and let's go back and hear the Mortgage 007 Omair. He is the co-founder of the 6 Mortgage Group, and he will continue to give you a very valuable video and content right now.
So, in the past 3 years, we have transitioned, I would say, about 20 mortgage specialists from the banks over to the broker's side. As you know, Calvin, you yourself and myself, we both come from the banking background, right? We worked as mortgage specialists at CIBC. You were with TD and RBC as well. So we worked with some of the biggest banks in Canada. I was at BMO before CIBC. Making that transition initially, it seems very difficult, right? And there's multiple reasons for that. And people think that once they move, they could potentially harm their business, or it could take away their centers of influences. It could take away their referral sources. But the reality is that it doesn't. Right? When you transition from the bank over to a mortgage broker, would you say you lost any of your clients or referral sources?
No, not really.
No, no, everybody still dealt with you, right? So I think, and initially it's the fact that people believe that having that big brand right behind them, having that business card that says TD or Scotia Bank, right, it gives them that instant credibility. Maybe it does when you're completely brand new and starting out, but once people know who you are, you're known in the industry, in the circle, and your name is already associated with mortgages. I think it becomes a very easy and seamless transition,
Yeah,
right?
that's a very valid point because now especially like with so much social media and all that, I mean, personal branding is much more important than the quote unquote corporate branding, right? So if someone who is now a mortgage specialist in the bank, right, and thinking of moving to a mortgage agent role, um, what would be the one pros and one cons that they will have? Now, let me deal with the easier topic is the cons because I know for a fact that myself when I moved from the bank to a mortgage agent, the biggest worry myself is the insurance that the bank offer, right? The package, the benefit package, and that's probably my biggest fear, personally speaking, because I do have like health wise, I do have a lot of needs for their benefit. Like I have some special needs on dental and all that stuff. So losing that is quite scary, to be honest, because like I used to know the budget, like monthly budget of my healthcare costs and all that, and I am literally afraid that, okay, as soon as I move into the agent role and I don't have any health benefit covered by the bank, oh my God, how much would I have to budget for all those costs, right? So that's probably my biggest fear. But for you, can you tell us a little bit about then, if there's a disadvantage like this, what would be an even bigger advantage to overcome this, and what is the advantage of the mortgage agent over working as a mortgage specialist in the bank?
Well, I mean, we can talk about the pros and cons. I guess for me, it's more about why would a mortgage specialist want to transition over as a mortgage broker, right? And yes,
Yep.
you mentioned some of the fears that mortgage specialists at the banks have, right? And yes, losing health coverage, that's a big one, right? Although the reality is when someone moves over, you realize that big companies like Dominion Lending Center, Mortgage Alliance, M3, Mortgage Architects, all these guys, they do have some sort of group benefits that mortgage agents can take part in and still be okay in terms of health insurance, right? But yes, you're right. I mean, there's small fears that people still have with them. But I kind of try to focus on some of the reasons why they should make this move, right? And I think the biggest reason, the first and foremost reason for me, for any salesperson, is compensation, right? Compensation should be one of the main things that people need to look at, and that's my conversation all the time. And I don't know, do you openly discuss compensation on your channel? Can we talk about basis
Oh
points?
yeah, I
Are you okay
actually
with that?
made a video like about 2-3 months ago, talking about how much an average mortgage agent can make. Like, and I honestly made a very conservative estimation, but many people are watching that video and said that, hey man, that's like, is that how much you can make only? And I say no, that I don't want to tell you that, if I tell you some number that is huge, right? Then you may say, oh, that's, it might be applied to you, but not necessary, right? But I mean, that's why I made a very conservative estimation on everything on that. And, you know, I will put a link at the end of the video so you guys can take a look at that. But I mean, compensation
Yeah.
definitely is one of the thing. And yeah, you can tell us what's your or
Oh,
what's the average
absolutely.
compensation
So
your agents are making. I mean, they are probably making a lot of money because they are lead by you.
So I think the main thing that, you know, when I talk to bankers, mortgage specialists, we note that base compensation that mortgage specialists at banks are making is between 30 to 50 basis points. That's pretty much kind of the top end, right? You'll find very few mortgage specialists that would make more than 50 basis points on average on a deal. I
Yes.
don't know. Would you agree with that, Kelvin, or no?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially recently, there's a lot of price war going on in terms of the interest rate, and I have heard a lot of my colleagues just say that no, they don't even have incentive to spend the time doing the deals because they are paying 35 basis point on the case and whatnot, and
The
some
buying down.
yeah, and there's some banks are like offering only 35 basis point on
Exactly.
pre-construction deal, like which I don't understand. Like you spend the same time, same amount of time, and sometimes even more time on a pre-construction deal than a resale, but they just pay you 35 basis point. That's like eye-opening.
Exactly. So my 3 points that I always present to prospect mortgage specialists. Number one is compensation, right? So the base compensation or average compensation at the bank, you're making between 35 to 55 basis points, while as a broker you're making 100 basis points or more, right? 100 basis points would be an average, I would say, plus or more, right? So
Mhm.
what does that look like? Well, that looks like, let's say an average mortgage is 500,000. As a mortgage specialist, you'll end up making somewhere around $1,700 commission, while as a mortgage broker you'll be making over $5,000, right? So compensation is huge, right? You will make more money. So even if you do less deals, you'll still end up making more money as a broker. You automatically start focusing on revenue as a mortgage broker as opposed to units, right? As a mortgage specialist at the bank, you're very focused on how many units you're funding, right? How many deals you're funding. But as a broker, uh, you realize that it's actually not about volume. It's not really about units. It's really about managing, your revenue, right? So that's usually my number one point. My number 2 point is, other than the compensation piece, is the fact that you have lender access, right? If you work as a mortgage specialist at RBC and RBC says no to that deal is dead for you. That's it, you're done, right? As a broker, you not like working at a bank, you're working with that one bank. As a broker, now you're working for 5, 10, 15, 20 different banks and lenders, right? So if RBC or if Scotiabank says no to you, you can go to TD. TD says no to you, you can go to First National. First National says no to you, you can go to Equitable, right? Like it doesn't end for you. You've got so many more choices to be able to make that money and be able to get that deal done. And that's what your referral sources respect. They want the deal to get done at the end of the day, right?
And
What do you
to be
think about
honest,
that?
it is very easy to switch from like send it from Equitable to send it to First National. You just click another button on Filogics and your deal it went straight to First National. Yeah. So
Exactly.
that's a huge point. Like that's probably, very big for me.
So you make more money, you have access to more lenders, right? And then third, which is very important. Actually, I'm going to change my third to my fourth, and third, I'm going to talk about something else. I'm going to go back to compensation, right? So we've already established that you make more money per deal as a mortgage broker. Now you have to understand that as a mortgage broker, you get paid under a corporation, so you can incorporate. versus as a mortgage specialist at a bank, you're actually getting paid via T4s to yourself. Now, if anybody understands the difference between getting paid into a corporation versus getting paid personally, they will know that this is a huge difference, right? Real estate agents have been fighting for years to be able to get their compensation paid into a corporation. And it finally happened for them this year, and they couldn't have been happier, right? It was the entire TREB rejoiced when that actually happened, right? Well, guess what? Mortgage brokers have always been able to get paid under their corporation. So that alone is a major reason someone needs to look at becoming, a mortgage agent, right? The tax liability, the amount of the tax liability is so different when you're getting paid under corporation. It means more money in your pocket, and that's huge.
Yes, definitely. I mean, and this, for those of you who do not understand this part of the, of the content, I suggest you reach out to your trusted tax accountant and ask them, hey, I just watched your video on YouTube. Kevin talked about the tax difference between having the revenue going into the corporation or the under the personal side. How is the tax implication on that? So this is a very important point, but I will leave this to the discussion of the tax accountant. But that's a great point. You guys should reach out to them and say hi to them.
I think for your next video, you should invite your tax accountant to explain.
Yeah, maybe.
Right, the difference between getting paid in a corporation, right? and the difference. Yeah, so it is huge, right? So anyone who's earning commission or thinking about being self-employed, yeah, that can make a significant amount of difference to your pocket. Now, my third point. And Calvin, you're going to understand this, and mortgage specialists will understand this. When you're a mortgage specialist, your entire business is built on acquisition. That's it. That is your entire goal, right? The minute that someone calls you, a past client, if they call you and they tell you, Calvin, you did my mortgage 3 years ago. It's coming up for renewal. I'd like to renew this mortgage. Calvin, the reality is that you don't even want to talk to that client. I know I'm going too far, but of course you want to talk to that client. But you know what I'm talking about. You don't want to take that deal because you don't get paid on it, right? So as a mortgage specialist, it's all about acquisition, right? It's all about getting new clients because that's what you get paid on. Your previous clients, even if they're refinancing, right? Even if they're refinancing, you're only getting paid on top-up amounts. So for example, you did a mortgage for $500,000 for your client, John. Now, 2 years later, John comes back to you and says, Calvin, I want to refinance and I want to take out $50,000. Well, you have to still do the same amount of work and you get paid only on that $50,000. So you don't want to do it. And if you have a fixed rate client, you can't do anything with them. You can't take them anywhere, right? But as a mortgage broker, it's not about acquisition. It's about making that database bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger because that database will continue to pay you. It will continue to pay you. So basically, whenever a client comes up for a renewal, you will get paid. In most cases, you get paid on renewals. And you get paid just as much on renewals as you get paid for a full deal at the bank.
Yes.
But what usually happens is when a client comes to you for renewal, you review their application, and most of the times you will switch lenders with them, right? Because today the rate is better at TD, or tomorrow it could be better at Scotia, or maybe we have a better deal for you at MCAP, right? So all of your renewal deals, you will continuously get paid on them as a broker. And that is huge because, like I said, at the bank, it's all acquisition. While at the broker side, if you've been doing this for 6-7 years, your entire business could just be servicing your own clients, just
you don't
rolling over your book.
Customer. You don't need any more new customer. You just need to the old customer to call you back.
Yeah, 40% of my clients today are just past clients, right? It's past clients that are either refinancing, coming up for renewal, buying a rental property, whatever it is, right? It's the same people that I've dealt with year after year after year after year, right? And that's huge. Once you understand the power of your own database and how you can continuously, profit and run that business and profitably, it makes huge amount of sense. So this is one of the main reasons that I tell, at least the mortgage specialists that I meet, you should think about making that change if all you're doing is just acquisition, right?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
that was my third point.
So for those of you who are right now a mortgage specialist in a bank, I mean, and if you are, thinking of, should I switch to mortgage agent and work with the, mortgage broker, mortgage agent? Should I switch? Should I make that decision? Well, I hope this video gives you some, insight from some of the industry leader, and I hope that there are definitely pros and cons, but I hope this video gives you some clear idea. And I have to thank my handsome friend today. Thank you for taking your time to come to my channel. And I hope to...
My pleasure, Professor C. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you so much for the great work that you're doing for this industry.
And I will have your contact information and your the website, your brokerage website in the video description. So if you guys really want to talk more in depth with Omair, go ahead and contact him. Okay. So thank you very much.